Tatum and Team USA. And, in our Olympic warm-up, we rolled we almost lost to South Sudan. Yesterday we rolled. Tatum started and played 17 minutes after getting DNP'd against Serbia. After the game, he said this: "The competitor in you wants to play, obviously, but I'm not here to make a story about myself. You win a championship, get a new contract, NBA 2K25 cover, Sports Illustrated, bro." Yeah. So after all of this, it's definitely a humbling experience. Okay. How should Tatum feel?
Confused. What a totally bizarre 2 months, man. Let me put it to you like this. 2 months ago, little over 2 months ago, before game 1 of the finals, if you asked 100 basketball fans, who's better, Jayson Tatum or Kevin Durant? I think Tatum wins that by a decent margin. If you ask those same 100, who's better, Jayson Tatum or LeBron James? I think Tatum wins that. I do. All NBA voting, I understand that's not just it. If you ask those same 100 people that today, and by the way, in the meantime, his team has won a championship. He's been selected to the Olympic team over, by the way, his second best or co-star teammate. Hey, guys, who's better, Jayson Tatum or Kevin Durant? I think he's lost votes. Who's better, Jayson Tatum or LeBron James? I think he's lost votes. I think that right now, that some of that's recency bias. I understand. I get that. But it is bizarre for a guy to check off the only box he hadn't checked, become a champion, and then be put on, seemingly, be a key, going to be featured member of what was being discussed as maybe the most talented collection of basketball players ever, and have it hurt him in the overall standing in basketball fans' eyes of the hierarchy of the league. So it might be as simple as, for some reason, his jump shots lost him over the last few months, which is weird. He shot 28% from 3 in the playoffs. He has not made a jumper in the Olympics. He's 0 for 11, including the exhibition series. It is a small sample, but still. But it is a bizarre spot, Brew, for him to find himself.
Look, that's a perspective.
Yeah.
I have a different one. I actually think Jayson Tatum should feel great.
Wow.
Because you are fortunate when you win a championship and for the next season you still will have a chip on your shoulder.
Oh, that's a good one.
You're fortunate because you avoid complacency. I remember talking to Golden State, some of the players on the Warriors when they won in 2015, and their battle over that next season was, we got to play these 82 games just to get back to where we want to be. So complacency is real. We've seen it with the NBA, these teams unable to win back-to-back championships. Jayson Tatum's going to be motivated. He's got and it's similar to the Chiefs. They got so many reasons to be motivated, even though they're the 2-time defending champs. So I like that if I'm Jayson Tatum. I also think, Nick, there are 2 ways you can look at Jayson Tatum's last several months. You can take the negative, skeptical view, or you can take the positive, optimistic view. I feel like the positive view, in that he's won a championship because, he and all the accolades he mentioned, right, that he got. I'm looking at it like, I'm not holding it against him that he didn't win Finals MVP. I mean, he did. It was a 5-4 vote. It was close. He did lead them in points, rebounds, and assists. He was the guy that closed out Dallas. Jaylen Brown was 6 for 22 or something.
He didn't play great.
But he was arguably the MVP in my view. I know you guys totally disagree. Some people have my view.
The fact that it was 5-4 means it was right. Sure. People thought.
And you guys know I have the historical perspective. Like, was Larry Bird? Was it a bad summer for him when he won his first championship, but had 2 8-point games? And Cornbread Maxwell, with all due respect, was a really good player, but he was the Finals MVP. I also think, Nick, I think this is a narrative about Tatum, and it's not just you; it's out there that he's, oh my gosh, he's falling down. I don't think he's falling down. He won his first championship. Steph didn't win Finals MVP for 3 championships. I didn't feel bad for Steph. He wasn't as scrutinized as Tatum is. I think this is the equivalent of when Kareem and Magic won their first championship together, and Kareem was hurt, so sat out Game 6. Magic was great in Game 6, won Finals MVP. They go out the next year, Kareem's outplayed by Moses Malone. They get beat in the first round. The next year, Lakers win it again, and guess who's Finals MVP? Magic Johnson. So this, to me, the looking at Tatum side-eyed is like looking at Kareem in that situation. Kareem's won his two more titles, but Magic's the MVP.
Hold on,
It's Magic's team now. How's it different?
Because again, I'm not trying to relitigate the 1980 NBA Finals, but you can verify for the audience.
What I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but Kareem was excellent when he was healthy and then got hurt, and that's why Magic
won without him.
I understand that, but a couple months later, Kareem was not benched by the Olympic team.
The Olympic team.
Right.
He's behind legend. Yeah. That's how,
But he's the guy.
He's behind Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
He's also
who are
behind
absolute
Devin
legends.
Booker. He's also behind Devin Booker.
Technically, he's better than Booker. Would you agree with that?
Well, Booker's playing more.
He's better than Derek White. He's better than Drew Holiday.
Derek White is fine, but Booker's playing his spot.
It's not an indictment on how good you are, honestly. It can't be.
I don't think Steve Kerr thinks he's better than Devin Booker. I think it's pretty clear.
Is Bam Adebayo better than Joel Embiid?
For this team,
he's looked better. Okay,
yeah.
For this team.
Yeah.
But that's what
But I think this has been bad for Embiid,
I don't think we make big statements off the Olympics.
I think
nobody's saying Carmelo Anthony's the greatest scorer ever because he's led the Olympics.
It certainly helps him. Yeah. It helps his legend.
It's a little something.
Right, how about this? I felt like Tatum had a shot. Like you could go to a bar and make an argument that Tatum deserved to be in the best player in the world conversation. Yes. He had a shot at it. 3 times.
Best American in the world. He had in that.
No, but Wildes is saying best player. But let him make.
He has a chance. If you're a 3-time Finals MVP, you got all.
Hold on, 3-time first
team All NBA. You make it. You finally get back to the finals. You win it. You're on the cover of NBA.
Your team won 64 games.
Yeah, the point differential, all of it. You should be like, you know what? He's the best player on the best team. That he deserves a seat at the best player in the world dinner table. But you would never, in a million trillion universes, Serbia would never be like that. You know what? Joker, you're a bad matchup here. Giannis, you're a bad matchup, and we're going to bench you. But Tatum got benched, and it's like, wow, we should discuss this. Nobody was like, it wasn't insane that he got benched.
Embiid just got benched.
Yeah.
Embiid deserves to be benched.
Yeah, and Embiid.
Okay, so
and Embiid,
I agree. Okay.
Embiid's out of that discussion. Now, he
agree
was
with that.
for different reasons prior, probably because of the playoff stuff. But if Embiid had come out, this is where I think the Olympics matter. And I know we'll get to Embiid. I'm not trying to step on it. But if you remember, right after the finals, I did the post-finals King of the Hill. And Wildes, you threw paper in the air because Tatum had moved. He was on the same line as Jaylen Brown. If we can show, again, this was the post-finals where I had it. I had Tatum and Brown on that 11 through 15 line. Right? If we were to do it right now, well, I did. I can show it to you, what it would look like. Durant, LeBron moved up. Anthony Edwards moved down a tick. Devin Booker moved up.
Olympics King of the Hill?
And Embiid, it's a snapshot.
Brunson shouldn't be.
I understand. I knew you were going to say Brunson, but just leave him alone for a moment. Embiid, do we all agree that Anthony Davis has helped his stock these Olympics? That Joel Embiid has hurt himself these Olympics? And right now, this moment, does that Tatum ranking seem more fair than it did 6 weeks ago?
It does, yeah.
I'll give you that. But here's what I just don't think you should look at the Olympics and the performances in the Olympics and make determinations for the NBA season. They're playing against woefully under-talented teams. I get it that these teams playing pretty tough, but you look at the rosters. Serbia had one NBA player. I get it, he's the best player in the world, but they still should have got rocked, and they did by us. South Sudan, no NBA players.
I agree. So can I just real quick respond to that? I totally agree that because of that, we should not overreact to great performances in the Olympics. But I think that makes bad performances all the more, what the hell's going on?
It could be fit, though. I think bad performances are more like fit.
Tatum has not seemed comfortable, honestly, dating back to the finals.
Wow.
He hasn't.
He wasn't comfortable in the finals?
I didn't
He
think
didn't
so.
make shots. He led them in points. He had to be somewhat
I understand, but he led him in points
against a very good
in part
defensive
because
team.
he took so many more shots than anybody else. Like, I don't know. He hasn't looked like he hasn't, to me, in the finals and in the Olympics, he has played far from his best basketball. And that's odd for a guy who keeps winning.
Last thing about Tatum. Remember in 2020, he was the second leading scorer on Team USA. In the gold medal game, he had 19 points in a tough game against France.
That would be nice.
So I'm just saying, like,
if we could see that, I think this all gets erased.
He's behind LeBron James and
James
Kevin Durant.
is a little younger than I am.
That's the thing. That's the
LeBron
problem.
still is a great player.
Tatum is better than LeBron.
He's not
Tatum
what he
is supposed to be better than
Tatum
LeBron.
is supposed to be better than
Well,
LeBron.
come regular season, let's see who's better between Boston and the Lakers and Tatum and LeBron.
I think Boston and the Lakers is clear. Tatum and LeBron, I don't know. I know this.
I don't know. I think Jayson Tatum with Anthony Davis would be a very strong duo.
Okay. All right.
I just don't think we make determinations off 6 games against inferior competition.
What about
and that's
7?
still what it is.
What about 7? Embiid got the Tatum treatment against South Sudan, DNP CD. Here's Kerr on the decision. I don't read social media. Okay. I would hope our guys aren't paying too much attention to that. Can I tell you something? Embiid is. That's a regular season thing where the soap opera can carry the ratings. Here, it's just win a damn gold. I mean, I like that part. Brewer, are you surprised Embiid has struggled?
Well, let me say this about him being benched, if that's what we're going to call it. I got to be honest. I think a large part of that benching or him not playing Embiid at all was related to Tatum. Absolutely. Not just to make him feel better, but to give Steve Kerr cover. Steve Kerr took shots. People were ripping Steve Kerr and all that. And this allows Steve Kerr to say, it was never about Tatum. It's all about matchups. Joel Embiid's an MVP, and he didn't play in this game against South Sudan because of matchups. I totally think that's what this was about, or largely, because you can't, I'm sorry, the 40 minutes, you can't get 12 players in is ridiculous. You can get 10, you can get 12 in, especially when we're winning big. So I think that was a big part of it. As far as Embiid, he looks bad. He does look bad.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. I think this is the beginning of what will be the most scrutinized stretch of his NBA career. Like, I think people are going to be like, man, no more excuses. Because he's gotten, for a guy that's won an MVP and never been past the second round in a down Eastern Conference for the most part. I mean, he's lost to Trae Young and Jalen Brunson, but I'm just saying, like, and so I think he's gotten a pass because he's injured or he's banged up, even if he plays, or James Harden, we're going to put it all on him because we know he disappears sometimes in big games. Or Doc Rivers, we're going to put it on Doc because of his playoff record. Ben Simmons doesn't like to shoot, and those are legit. But Embiid has gotten a pass, and I think that's over, Nick. I think you got Paul George coming in. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey is ascending. Nick Nurse is a good coach. They added some good role players this summer. Like, no more excuse. I'm not giving him an excuse if he's banged up, playing 80% in the playoffs, because he's always like that.
I totally agree with you. Listen, I have wanted, and I still want, and part of me still believes just because NBA history tells me, every single player of Joel Embiid's caliber, or even close to it, has had at least one semi-decent playoff run. Has had at least conference. Literally every MVP ever has made at least a conference finals. Every MVP but Embiid, Nash, and Rose have made an NBA finals. Nash came super close 4 times. Rose, came close, and then his knee blew up. So none of it makes sense. But this is another opportunity for Joel Embiid to be dominant in a big spot, and he's going over. He was supposed to be kind of the U.S.'s cheat code. And I don't even mean cheat code metaphorically. It's kind of cheating that he's on the team to begin with. Like he wasn't born in the States.
Right.
He then was going to play for France, and now we got him. And I'm happy we got him. And I'm not trying to be like jingoistic there, but it was odd to even have him eligible. And then we found out he was eligible. It's like, well, any question about this team, about size and rebounding, all that, he solves it. And now he's been our, at best, third worst player, and at worst, our worst player.
I think he's taking the most L's in this, even more than Tatum.
Yes, I agree, because he's getting more opportunities.
So here's his numbers against Serbia. He got a DNP, obviously, against South Sudan. Yeah. His numbers against Serbia, 11 minutes, 4 points. He had 2 turnovers, 1 silly one, 2 for 5, and then free throws he's not even hitting. So,
yeah, I'm just disappointed, man. He does seem out of shape, and I know that he's been hurt, but that's like a cycle for him.
It's 11 minutes.
He gets hurt, so then he can't get in shape, and then there is not. If you say to a basketball fan, I know we got to move on, close your eyes and think of the most dominant Joel Embiid moments. Every single one of your top 10 is going to be that game in February. That game there's no playoff games, and now not even like, hey, remember that game against Serbia to start the Olympics when he took it to Joker for 20 minutes? Yeah. That would have been cool.
You know what else is going to be? A jump shot.
Oh,
it's going to be a jump shot. I mean,
but
Nick, look, he looks out of place. He looks like he's in the way. Because we got 4 great perimeter players with him at all times, and here's the 7-foot, 300-pounder who wants to float around there too. Go inside.
what do you want me to do?
Post up.
No,
they've been trying
to get you to do the pants. Go ahead. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.